so I'm going to hit record. Guys, I could not be more excited to have Dean and Kelsey on. They are some of our good buddies. And luckily, our upline brought us together at a retreat, that was 3 years ago, two years ago. And Kelsey and I knew of each other, but we had never really hung out or anything. And through that trip, they had their beautiful daughter Ruby there, and we had Tenley. And we're like, okay, we're both couples with babies. We're just going to hang out. And we actually all got along very well. And, our friendship has grown over the years. Now, I could not be prouder of the exciting accomplishments that both Kelsey and Dean and their team have been achieving this year, you guys. They have been killing it. I get so excited, and Kelsey's probably sick of hearing at this point, but I'm always like, oh my God, I'm so proud of you. Oh my God, I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you, because I'm a words of affirmation girl, and I'm like, I am. I get so excited to see what you guys are achieving. You guys are going to have to let me know if this has changed, because I think I know all of your accolades because I follow you guys, but I know you guys are changing literally every single week. So they are currently 11-star qualifying. They're in the top 50. I think you're number 30, what?
37.
Yes, 37 in the company, you guys, where the stakes are high right now, and they're killing it. They also were both participants in the Lift 4 test group, and they got amazing, amazing results. They've already achieved the requirements for 2000 Elite Team. And anything else I missed, you guys? Besides the fact that you guys are a power couple and you're a mother and father of three. Ruby is what, 3?
She's 4.
4? Okay, so she's 4. And then they have twin girls. So I think that's it, you guys, right? I know there's more. I could probably keep talking, but.
No, that's fine. Introduction, Meg. You are so sweet. And I'm still, I watched the Rachel Hollis, if you guys hit Success Club in June, I watched that twice, and every time Meg gets on there, and I'm just bawling. I don't know about you guys, but that touched me so much. So Meg, you rocked it. Seriously.
Thank you. I think that I had to speak up for every parent that runs this business, because it is something that kind of pulls you, and she put me in place. Yeah. So, okay, guys, I'm going to hand it over to you. I want to hear you share how to legit own your business.
Yeah. So in case you guys don't know me, I'm going to start by a little bit of my backstory and how I got into coaching. And I have been coaching for 5 years now, and it's crazy. When I started, what held me back for the longest time is I thought, there's no way I'm going to rock at this. I'm just not a salesperson. And that held me back for the longest time, because I actually, if you don't know, I worked at the Buckle through college. And I started there, and I was, on the floor trying to do my sales thing, trying to get people to buy extra belts and jeans to go with their shirts and all these other things. And I was out on the floor for 2 weeks, and the manager at the time, very nicely, of course, but she's like, Kelsey, you know what? You're going to actually go in the back room, and you're going to unload the shipment, and you're going to put the security sensors on all the clothes. So in that moment is when I realized sales will never be my jam. I'm not, good at this. So when I started in coaching, I didn't start to sell. I started to change my life. I wanted fitness and health to become a lifestyle. And through that process, I fell in love with the company. I fell in love with the journey. I became more confident as a person. And so just like you find your favorite lipstick or a favorite restaurant you go to, you naturally want to tell people about it because you legit love it. That's what I started doing with these programs and what we have to offer as coaches. And through that journey, I'm like, dude, I guess I'm quote unquote selling, but I don't feel like I'm selling because I love it, legit. And so when you go through this business and you have your own story, you have your own journey, and you fall in love what we do, we give people confidence. We help people lose weight. We help people feel good in their skin. That's not selling. That's helping people get their life back. And so if you're in that season where you're like, I don't want to you don't have to be a salesperson to do this. I'm Still don't feel like I sell in this business. So know that, and know that you just have to start with you and start developing yourself, and it will come across so much more natural. So I had that holding me back in the beginning, but then I also had this handsome guy holding me back in the beginning.
You're welcome.
Do you want to share on that?
Yeah. So, I probably, like most guys, came into this business or very, very hesitant. And actually, I didn't tell her no in the beginning. I told her hell no. Everybody that I worked with had their wives doing things, that my wife would never do, like hair and makeup, whatever these multi-level marketing things they were doing. My wife was smart, and she's not the type of woman to do that, right? That's what I had in my head. So when she came to me, I was like, no, I can't believe like this day has come and it's happening, and I don't know how to handle it. And it was through anger and frustration. But I said no, and I said hell no because I didn't understand. I was ignorant to what it could be, because, and this is no offense to women, but women are very big into dreaming and like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to be a 10-star diamond, and I'm going to make X amount. I'm going to help all these people, and it's going to be beautiful and wonderful. And I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to do it. And men, we're very like calculated. We want to see results. We want to see numbers. We want to know all that is involved with that. She was coming to me with this, not knowing how to talk to me, but just telling me what she was going to do, not how she was going to do it, which was great and all, but that kept me resistant and frustrated in a way, because, I knew that these things didn't work in my mind. I knew that it couldn't be done, yada, yada, yada. But over time, without nagging, but more of inviting me to be a part of it, hey, why don't you come want to do one of these girly workouts with me, and let's see if you can get through it. And that's a challenge to me. Like, I do CrossFit. There's no way one of these girly workouts, no way Tony Horton's going to kick my ass. So Tony Horton kicked my ass, of course. And I'm like, hey, this is legit. I can't believe you do this every day. And then, it started with small things like just, hey, will you look over this post for me? Hey, yeah, I'll read your stupid posts, like, so you can blast your pyramid scheme all over social media. That's the attitude that I had going into it, of course, like most men. But it's those small, subtle invites over time that made me feel a part of it, and it made me feel important, and it made me feel like I could contribute to help her. Because at the end of the day, like, I didn't care about Beachbody in the beginning. I cared about what made her happy. I would do it for her. It wasn't about Beachbody. So I encourage you guys to think about, when's the last time you've recruited your spouse? He may be hesitant. If you're a male, she may be hesitant. When's the last time that you invited them in a way that would make them feel valuable and where they could actually help you? So that's my story. That's how I got into it, slowly over time.
And it was inviting, but then it was also, hey, look at this message I got. Like, I helped this person lose 10 pounds. Hey.
Yeah.
And then me staying consistent, because I was not consistent with my own journey before this either. And having me stay consistent for a month, you were like, what?
Yeah. And the fact that she did 3 workouts in a row was like 2 more than she's ever done. Right. So I saw the consistency over time, and not only the physical, but the mental transformation that she was having, being up all night excited, not because we weren't going to be able to pay the bills, but because she didn't know how she was going to make her boot camp so awesome to help all these people, because they're sending her messages like they have hope for the first time in their life.
So that's a little bit about our backstory. And it took me a while to really get into the business. Once I did, last year we hit a real rocky road. I became a twin mom. I have 18-month-old twins today. So they were born in December of last year, and of 2016. I had to think about that. That's terrible. 2016. So at the beginning of 2017, I actually they were spent about 3 weeks in the NICU. I had postpartum depression and some anxiety. So I was dealing with a lot and trying to figure out to work the business at the same time, because that was something I wasn't giving up. Like, that's what gave me my time. It made me feel like I had purpose outside of motherhood. So I wasn't going to give up the business. That wasn't an option. But come about this time last year, I looked at him and I was like, we were sitting at 2-star diamond, and we had this goal for our team to hit elite. And so I knew that we had to change some things if we were going to do that. And so at that time, Dean and I decided, okay, well, let's just do like a brain dump. What is not working right now? Like, what are some small tweaks that we can make to help our team hit their goals, right? And so I did this brain dump within my own journey of some things that I just didn't feel like were working. So for me, sneak peeks weren't really working that much. I was struggling to get my team excited, and I was noticing in my posts that long posts were not working. And that's about the time Instagram stories came out, and I love talking and I love connecting with people. So we were just like jotting all these things down on paper. And so I knew at that point in my business, we were 2-star, that I had some people that had maybe had diamond and lost it, or some people that seemed driven. Like I could tell that they wanted it. So what I did is I set up little 20-minute power calls with these coaches, asking them what their goals were. Like that was the point of this call. I wanted to figure out, where did they want to end the year? Why did they want this business to work for them? And so at the end of that 20-minute call, of course, the ones I thought wanted it did. They wanted to achieve diamond or get diamond back and become more stable. And so I got off all those calls, decided I was going to get them all on a Zoom call like this one that we're on right now. And I talked about the power of community and how much power that has when you connect the dots with other people who are very similar to you, who are also pushing for a very similar goal. And when you put your heads together, the power that can have in lifting each other up and pushing for that together. And then I explained to them that we will start a group message thread to hold them accountable. But when they all hit their goal of diamond, our team actually achieves our goal of hitting elite. And how cool that will be that they will be a part of being an elite team, and they were a part of the team becoming elite by doing that. And that really fired them up. So I was like, well, you know what? Let's do that group message thread with just us, but then let's open up a Facebook group, and you can plug in your working coaches to that Facebook group. What should we call that Facebook group? And they came up with the idea of Real Women Conquer Go Elite. That's our team name, is Real Women Conquer. Cool, let's do it. So we really rallied the team, and we're going to talk you through what we did, but then how we were able to duplicate that for the whole team this next year. So we really boiled it down to, we feel like, 2 things. Anytime we implement something, we're like, okay, we always think of these 2 things. It's creating excitement and creating FOMO. If you can do those 2 things and everything you do, you're going to see massive success, because that's what we have found. So 2 things, excitement and FOMO. And a lot of that is with creating your own momentum. And so first I want to talk about doing that on social media through stories. So creating that excitement. So we talk about the coaching journey on our Instagram stories. We talk about our boot camps and the people in there seeing success. We talk about just about everything coaching. I think of my Instagram stories like a daily sneak peek, except for I'm not calling it that. It's just a sneak peek into my life, right? But it's a sneak peek into coaching. I'm taking them and giving them bite-sized chunks and showing people how they can fit coaching into their life and still being a mom and still doing wearing all the other hats that we wear. But through that, I'm creating all this excitement, all this energy, all this FOMO. We talk about our mentorship that we have.
And hold on, let me interrupt you.
Okay, do it.
So what we have found last year, the sneak peeks weren't working for us, right? So instead of keep beating the dead horse that we constantly did and we're getting nowhere, we decided to do sneak peeks all the time on stories. The only thing we did different really was, 1, add more excitement, of course, and 2, not tell them that it's a sneak peek. Just do it all the time. So your followers, because your followers, if they're not there to follow you for a sneak peek, they're out if they know that it's a sneak peek. So they're eating the content when not even realize that you're feeding it to them, right? So we decided to not just scrap the sneak peek idea, but how could we change it to where it's a part of our life and constantly on social media, right? So it's just like always on. And that's, I know the excitement and FOMO sounds like so cliche. Like, yeah, I know I need to be excited, but you have to be excited when you're not even excited. Like, go drink some freaking Energize, for God's sakes, if you're not excited. Like, there's things on social media that we do that we're not excited about at all. But let me tell you this. You did think about when you joined your coach. You didn't join your coach because she was Eeyore was her spirit animal, and she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna do a day in the life of the coach, and I'm really excited to be here." No, you got to like jump up and down. You got to be so excited. You got to be screaming on your social media, on your Instagram stories. You got to be there, and you got to give people a reason to get excited too, and they don't even know what you're excited about. And so there were two things that, when we were looking down the barrel of 2-star and falling short of elite yet another year, there was two things that came to my mind and that really helped us improve our processes, I feel like. And one of them was from Carl Deichler. He did his speech and he talked about, because he thought, because of social media, we have gotten so fast paced and so away from the old school way we used to do things before, messaging and stuff like that, is what would be so wrong with going back and sitting down and having coffee with someone who's considering being a coach? What would be so wrong to jumping on a Zoom call with someone that is considering being a coach? And, it didn't hit me in that moment. Like, it wasn't like an aha moment and it immediately went off. No, this is months down the road. But when we were really, I guess adversity really challenges you and changes you to really pull out all the stops and think about what you could do differently. And you think about all the impacts that people have had in your life. And one of them was Carl, of course. Who else? But it was that. And I was like, Carl's got a really good point here. And another, and it kind of pairs with what Carl was saying, is happened about the time we were looking for to replace our assistant. And we didn't replace her because of bad terms, just because she was ready to build her business. And anyway, we sent out applications. Kelsey would make a post on social media, now hiring for an assistant. Got all these people like, hey, I'm interested. Kelsey would send them a Google form and say, hey, here's a couple questions, kind of like a job application, because, they're going to work for you on your team. And then we would receive those job applications back and we would set up calls based on the quality of that application. And I thought, why wouldn't we do this with people who want to be on our team? Why wouldn't we treat this more like we are a company or a corporation recruiting people? Because essentially that's what we're doing. So why not treat coaching like this and maybe slow down a little bit and get these people on a one-on-one call, like Carl said, but it aligns with what we do to recruit people for our corporation, right? So that's kind of I hate using the word aha moment because it didn't happen all at once, but that's
we kind of put things together.
We kind of piece things together as we were going through this and looking up this humongous hill of elite last year.
Well, and when I had made the post for an assistant, what I was finding is like I couldn't get through them fast enough, and then people were following up with me, and I was like, that never happens with coaching. Like, usually I'm the one following up with them, and they're following up with me. So if I can recreate this for coaching, like, how powerful would that be? So
by a show of hands, who would like people to follow up with you for coaching for once?
Yeah.
Instead of you chasing them and getting ghosted, right? So this process that we do, we have found translates from, finding an assistant over to coaching as well. Like, we literally get people mad at us if we don't respond fast enough.
Yeah.
And we love it.
So going kind of back to social media a little bit, when I do talk about our mentorship, I'm using the poll, I'm using the swipe up feature if you have that, which I don't think you need to have. I don't hardly actually ever use it, but I do occasionally. Or I'll do like, I don't know what it's called, the technical name, but where you're like doing text, you save the photo and you upload it and you add more text, where you're tapping through and more text is adding. So I'll do things like that to really create excitement and energy from that. There's times where maybe we have nobody has applied. And this is where I'm talking about creating your own momentum. Okay. There's literally times I'm like, Dean, we have to jump up, and like, he's like, go ahead. Like,
yeah, I mean, literally sometimes there's shit you don't want to do. And like, she recruits me and she's like, hey, we got to go on Instagram stories and you're going to jump up and down and be really excited. Like we're on a trampoline together and it's a birthday party or something. We just whacked a piñata. And I'm like, okay, like I'm doing shit like this. And I'm like, I have no idea what I'm jumping for, but yay. And I'm like, what do we just get excited about? Because I know we have no applicants. And she's like, yeah, exactly. We have no applicants, but nobody else knows that.
You got to create your own momentum sometimes, because there's people out there that are watching us that are going to think, am I going to miss the boat? I thought about applying and I didn't. I need to do it now. Like, I need to do it now. So you have to create your own momentum to get the things that you want sometimes. So we do that a lot, is with creating your own momentum with the excitement.
So side note, and this is off script here, but if you see us jumping up and down and so excited, and you hear us talking about we just got 15 applicants and we've got 5 new people joining our team, our mentorship, it's probably an indication that we don't have anybody and we're struggling. But that's okay. You guys didn't know the difference. Only we did.
Yeah. So you can totally duplicate that. And then the other thing I do is I take the objections and the hesitations that I get, either in an inbox on my email, wherever it is. Sometimes it's on my stories and I address it. So for example, I have gotten the cost objection, or not even an objection, but people always want to know what the cost is before you even got into like what it is. They're like, well, what does it cost? And that drives me bonkers for some reason. So I went on my stories one day and I was talking about how we're getting ready to hire somebody for a fence, and how silly that would be for me just to ask a fence guy, well, how much is it going to cost for you to build a fence? They're going to say, well, I'm going to need to come out and see your property first. How many gates do you want / need? Are you wanting cedar? Are you wanting treated wood? Are you wanting the metal fence? Like, there's a lot of things that go into it based off what I want and what I need, right? So same is true with this. We have not even asked, like, we don't know what their goals are. We don't know what they need.
I'm impressed with how much you know about different types of fences.
Thank you. I've learned a lot. No, but like that. And so I went on my stories and I gave them an example to where people are like, oh, that makes sense why she can't tell me the cost right off the gate. So taking things that you're getting and then addressing them in your stories, I think, is very, very powerful, because what you're putting out there on social media is also backing what you're saying in private messaging. And there's a lot of power with that. Also recognizing your team on social media. I just actually recognized somebody who was somebody that hit Emerald last Thursday. And then I always talk about them, a little piece of their story. Because what I found is that people relate, maybe not to my story, but maybe to my coach's story, or maybe something in their story is making them think, OMG, me too. That's exactly where I'm at. And so and that's the goal. We always want people to relate. We want them to think in their brain, me too. And the moment you do that is the moment they're going to reach out to you. So step 1 is social media.
Yeah, and if you notice, anytime Kelsey gets a question, like let's use cost objection for an example, you'll notice Kelsey on her Instagram stories will go on there and talk about this fence explanation to everyone. She'll reply to the person who asked it, but she'll give this example publicly to everyone, because if you have 2,000 followers on Instagram, there's 50 people on there that are watching this, asking the same question in their head. So you've just addressed it to a bigger audience, and you've casted a bigger net. So I think, and it exposes that what you would say privately is what you would talk about publicly too. So you're not hiding, or they know you're not saying different things to different people. So they know you're legit across the board.
Yeah. So next I'm going to talk you through how I take somebody through my application process. So strictly talking about mentorship / the coaching opportunity. So I might make a post, a lead generator, on a Monday night, and I post about the business, and I say drop an emoji or comment below, if you have any more, if you're interested. And then I'll do a lead generator on my Insta stories as well. So then what I do is I have just like a little script that I send that's saying, oh my gosh, so excited, Dina, we're going to review all the applications and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. We're looking to fill these spots ASAP. Then I give them the link. It's just a Google form. where I take them and I ask them questions like, are they working with a coach? What are their goals? Have they tried any Beachbody stuff before? What questions do you have about our mentorship? So those are the questions that they ask. I send that like little script, but then I'm going to just show you exactly what I do. Let's say Meg has requested to be on our team, which would be awesome, Meg.
Think about it, Meg. Seriously.
So this is what I would do. I would say, oh my gosh, I'm so excited that you are interested. What I just did is I sent you a link above. It's just asking you what your goals are, what questions you have, because we want to really make sure that we're answering them for you. So if you can fill that out, that would be awesome, and I'll be in contact with you. So then I'll save that, and then I'll upload it. Like, let's say there's 10 people, that way I don't have to repeat myself 10 times. I'm just going to upload that video in their inbox right after the form. That way it feels more personal. I've really found that when you reply with people in stories and in DMs with a video, it's so much more personal, and you can connect with them a lot quicker. And that's what we want, right? We want to connect quicker so that they say yes quicker.
Yeah, that's another thing. Like, we're all taught that like video builds a relationship faster. So like, why not video message people? Like, if you want to build that relationship even faster, why not send them a private message? And then they're like, wow, you took the time to send me a personal message. And this isn't, everybody's been scripted to death the last 5 years, thanks to wrap companies, thanks to hair products, thanks to whatever. And people are tired of it. So if you can get rid of these scripted replies, video message is great. And you can forward that message to people if you don't use their name, and that way you're not making 10 different videos.
Yeah, you're just doing the one, and it's just so much more personal, and I feel like my success rate goes up because of that. And I even do it like, if somebody has a question on sippy cups, I'll be like, yeah, here's I'll show it to you again, or whatever. I mean, I don't to all of them. If they ask me where my shirt is, I'm not like, Target, like I don't do that. But for the most part, if they have a good question, I will video them back and answer their question.
Yeah, I'll literally be over here like working and like working on some spreadsheet, and I'll hear, "Hey, girl!" Like, it'll be completely quiet, and then I'm like, "Oh my gosh,
oh,
she's building a business." So, God love her.
God love her. So what we do, so then we're looking at the applications, and we basically put people into like 2 categories. Nobody's ever a no, but there's some applicants that we're really excited about. We can tell that they've put some thought into this. They ask really good questions, that sort of thing. I guess the only time a person is a no is if they have a coach, right? Then I'm like, I'm not going to steal you. So there's 3 categories really, but other than that, there's 2. And so if we're really excited about a person, then we actually send them an email. And in that email, I make them feel, because you always want to think about how you would want to feel if you were on the receiving end of it. So I make them feel like amazing. And I say, OMG, we are so excited about your application. Dean and I reviewed it. We really, let me tell you, we typically do a group style meet and greet, but your application really stood out to us, and we would love to get you in on a one-on-one call so we can personally answer your questions. Here are a couple days and times that we have available. Before you pick a day and time, we actually have a quick 20-minute video that goes a little bit deeper. When you're finished with that video, could you reply back and let us know what day and time works for you? And so that makes them feel like they were chosen, right? So it's an interview. We're not calling it an interview. We're not calling it an interview. We're calling it a meet and greet, but essentially that's what it is. We want to make sure it's good for both ends, right?
Yeah, you're starting that funnel. Like, if they don't have the time to watch the 20-minute video about explaining what our team is and our goals, then they probably don't have a year to build this business. So if 20 minutes is too much, that's fine. Maybe later, right? Go ahead and exit the ride, and we'll talk later whenever you're ready. And that's okay. We want that too.
Well, we know if they're not going to watch a 20-minute video, are they going to get on the national wake-up call?
Probably not.
You know? So, you know what I mean? So in that video, I basically talk about our goals, the type of person that thrives well on our team, the culture of our team, our mission statement, what we really, how our mentorship is structured. So they do that. They reply back and they give us a day and a time. I send them a Zoom link. We jump on a call. We really just go over 2 things. Again, we reiterate their application and how like blown away we were with it. The second part is we take them through our mentorship process, which is our new coach getting started right process is all it is. And then we answer their questions. So we open up their Google form and we look through their questions. Then we ask if they have any additional questions. And at the end of the call.
Yeah. And by this point, when they get on, when they get on a call, this isn't your script. This is mine. Okay.
Okay.
When they get on a call at this point, they've watched the video, so they've got an understanding what's going on here, and we're not spending 30 minutes explaining it to them every freaking time we get on a call for them to decide, hey, I don't think this is for me. At this point, they still want to get on the call and they still want to do this. They're in. If I can get you on a call, 80% chance we've had that you're going to be signing up as a coach before we get off the call. And that's what we want, because we don't want to waste their time and we don't want to waste our time. Of course, we want people, like I said, that funnel. We want people who are ready to do this. And before the end of every call, and I have no problem with this, but I've always been told, don't be afraid of asking for what you want. So I look in the camera on the Zoom call just like this, and it's just us and them.
And it's Meg.
It's just us and Meg. And I'll say, Meg, I haven't talked to Kelsey. You guys can use this. I haven't talked to Kelsey offline yet, but I know for sure by your response, your application, and your questions that you would absolutely freaking rock this business and you could change your life. I have a spot for you on my team. I need to know before we get off this call, do you want that spot or should I hand it to someone else? Meg says, okay, yes. I mean, how could I say no to that?
Typically the response is like, you could just see it on the other end. They're lit up. They're excited. They were chosen. Yes. How do I sign it? Like they're excited.
Yeah. Like we literally had a girl that looked like me on Instagram stories, like jumping up and down, like, yes, I'm so excited that you asked me to join. Please, please, please. And I'm like, perfect. Like I told you guys, we've had about an 80% success rate with doing this and asking that question.
But again, it's 80% because we've taken them through a process. It's not every person I've asked. Or
your success rate increases as your funnel goes down, right? So Meg says yes, and we say perfect. At that point, we get them set up with a challenge pack. What package would you like to get started with? Oh, you don't know? Okay, perfect. We can help you walk through that. So you want to do 21-day fix, you want to do ultimate reset, you want to do Shakeology. Here's the benefits, so that way we don't get, because we all get off a call or something like that, or we all have someone that we got a share card out there, but for some reason they're at their lake house and there's no Wi-Fi and they're gone, right? So we try to eliminate that gone or that shady Wi-Fi before it can get shady. And we will send them a share card as we're on the call before we get off the call.
Yes. So that's the one process. The other people that maybe aren't no's, but we couldn't get a good feel of the person, we invite them to our team meet and greet. So we run that the same way. Our coaches can invite to it. It's basically a sneak peek into coaching. But what we do is we walk them through the mentorship the mentorship getting started right process. And then we also will highlight our team, our coaches that are on, and we'll ask them questions about our team culture, about the experience they've had, all of those types of things. And then we'll answer questions, but frequently asked questions, the questions that we get asked the most. And then we end the call. But again, all those people that didn't get a one-on-one call, I still send them that same email. It says, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. We reviewed your application. We want to invite you to our meet and greet. It's this time on this date. Let me know if you're in. Here's a YouTube video that explains a little bit more of our team, that sort of thing, to really make them feel like $1 million, right? That's what we want to do. So those are like our 2 processes with that.
And keep in mind, they don't have any idea that we invited or had a one-on-one call with other people. So at this point, they still feel like they got invited, they are included, they are a part of it too. So just keep that in mind as well.
Yeah. So I thought we would take you through a little bit of our mentorship process, because this is what I really feel like our team has developed 10 new diamonds in the last 6-7 months or so. And I really feel like this system is what is helping do that. So a coach signs up. Meg signs up. Hey, Meg, welcome. I send them a welcome email. It has a link to a Getting Started Right call. So I always host my Getting Started Right calls every week, Tuesday night at 8:30. The call typically lasts 30 minutes, and we talk about just some basic things to help them get started. From that, we talk about our mentorship. So our mentorship has I call it 2 legs, just like our coaching, we have 2 legs. But our mentorship has 2 legs. And the first leg is our Thinkific site. So it's a self-paced mentorship. So it's 3 weeks. I have it weekly deadlines on it. So it's self-paced, but by week 1, I still want you here. By week 2, I still want you here. By week 3, I still want you here. But if one day you want to do 2 trainings, awesome. So that's the way I've designed it. But through that, they may have questions after they watch something, or there may be a little homework assignment. So the second leg of the mentorship is our success pod. So we plug them into a new coach success pod. And in that success pod, we answer questions, we mentor them, we guide them in there. And so that is the 2 legs of it. We always explain our mentorship never ends unless you want it to end, because what happens is as you move up in your business, you just move up in your success pod. So we have an Emerald success pod. We have
a new coach success pod.
Yeah, a new coach. I already talked about that one.
Okay.
So sorry, I'll back up. New coach success pod, Emerald success pod. We have a cubic zirconia success pod, which we'll talk about in a second. And then we have a diamond success pod. So they just move up just depending on where they fall. And the reason that we explain this to them, the reason we designed it that way is because we found that new coaches typically have different questions than a diamond coach. And so you're surrounded with people. This takes you back to when we were trying to hit elite. This surrounds you with people who have very similar goals, who are pushing for very similar things in a very similar spot. And we found that when you have community pushing for similar things, then you don't feel alone. And we don't want you to feel alone in this business. So that's how we explain our mentorship. And then we'll talk a little bit now about what we do in our success pods that we found that have made them thrive really well for our coaches to see success. You want to talk on that?
Yeah. So in the success pods, can we talk about all that in the success pods?
Yeah.
That's not all about the success pods.
No, but those are just some things that we do.
All right. So in our success pods, we have a ring the bell challenge. And let me back up on the success pods. The reason we created success pods that are just message threads on Facebook is because there's plenty of groups on Facebook. There's plenty of Facebook groups, there's challenge groups, team pages, whatever, right? And if you put your coaches in more than 2 groups, they get overwhelmed and they don't know which one to check into. And so we decided to do just a message thread. And in those message threads, we do ring the bell challenges. Every time they have a new coach or a new customer, they're required to drop the little bell emoji in there and ring the bell and name the person's first name that's their new coach or customer. And, that creates excitement for people. And it's also subconsciously a reminder to them of, oh yeah, inviting is what I haven't done today. And it's what I need to do today. And it kind of keeps that in the forefront of their mind on that. And another thing that we do is, so say a new coach, we're in the new coach pod right now, and a new coach brings on 2 coaches. We all know that that's Emerald. So they're going to advance to the Emerald pod. We make an announcement, really excited, of course, just
excitement and FOMO.
We never lose that excitement from when they want to join to be a coach. Through the application process and all that, we still continue that process, and really excited. We say, hey, You guys say goodbye to Meg. She's going to the Emerald Pod this week, and who's joining her next. And then we'll leave it up there for a little bit for them to go, oh, congrats, Meg. So excited for you. And then in the Emerald Pod, we'll do the same thing. We'll say, hey, can you guys put your hands together and give Meg a big hell yeah for bringing on 2 coaches this week. She's only been in her business 3 days, and she's Emerald. So that gets the excitement. And another thing that it does is people have built those relationships in those pods, like what we talked about, like they've surrounded themselves with community. And so when someone's leaving and going to the Diamond Pod, people are like, oh no, my friend is leaving. I can't let her go without me. I need to get my ish together. I need to go up there with her because I heard that Diamond Pod is where it's at. And, we spend a lot of time in these pods, but it saves us from answering the same question to 50 different people, where we can answer it to everybody. Because like you guys, someone's got a question about our process, but only one person will ask it, and everybody's going to be like, oh, thank you for asking them. Mm-hmm. Same is true with your coaches. So it's a way for us to answer it and cast it to a bigger crowd. So did I cover everything on the pods, I think?
Yeah, I think
Before
so.
I move on to what else we do?
Yeah,
okay.
We just make it a big deal when people leave, and a big people. Yeah.
So.
And then we'll remove them from the pod, and it'll always say, like, Meg has now left the pod. Bye, Meg.
It's like
I'll be there next week, I promise.
It's like, yeah, everybody's sad, and then like, oh man, I need to do that.
Yeah.
I should probably do that this week.
Yeah.
And then, we do mid-month check-ins in each of those pods. Hey, where are you guys at with your Success Club and coaches? Are you at where you said you were going to be at the beginning? Mm-hmm. And then at the beginning of the month, we say, hey, what were your last month's numbers? What is your goal this month? Mm-hmm. And we constantly remind them, hey, it's halfway point. Are you where you said you were going to be? Are you at the halfway? If you said 30 Success Club points, are you at 15 by now? What are you going to do to get there? Something like that. Another thing that we do in our team page is when someone does go diamond, we celebrate the shit out of that. Like it is a big deal, guys. Like diamond is a big fight in this business, right? Like we make it all about them. So we create a cover photo and we put it in the cover photo of our team page for that week of the person who went diamond. Sometimes we got 3 people and on 3 pictures on the cover photo. And again, it's creating that excitement. It's like another form of recognition, another way to shout out people, not only publicly, but in your team page. Because when you have a team page of 700 people and you're the person that's on the cover photo, people are like, I want that to be me. I'm going to do what it takes. Because sometimes people are, they're motivated by trips. Some people are motivated by money. Some people are motivated by recognition. So you just kind of just do it all, really.
Yeah, for sure.
And then, let's see. What? Tell me.
I was going to say, talk about cubic zirconia.
Oh,
people don't.
Yeah. Okay. So cubic zirconia, like you've heard us talk about, like sometimes you got to create your own excitement. Sometimes you got to create your own momentum. Our thought was there is just a huge gap between emerald and diamond in this business. And we say that and people are like, well, there's ruby. And I'm like, yeah, but nobody really recognized, like who really hits ruby? Like it's not even.
Very few people.
Right. People usually skip ruby and go to diamond because if you're going to do ruby, you might as well just do diamond, right? So we hear that there's a huge separation between diamond and emerald and a huge recognition gap in our opinion. So we're like, what can we do about that? So we created our own rank. And, I'm sure people see our shout outs and they're like, what in the hell is cubic zirconia? Let me tell you what a cubic zirconia is. A cubic zirconia is a man-made stone that looks like a diamond, feels like a diamond, but is not quite a diamond. And guess what that rank is in our business? The same exact thing. It's 4 coaches. It's just double emerald. It's 4 coaches starting to look like a diamond, starting to feel like a diamond, but not quite a diamond. But it's more than emerald. It's higher up than emerald. So, I don't care if other coaches think that it's silly. Our team thinks it's pretty badass and they like the recognition from it. And I like giving them the recognition for it. And so we're running with it. So that's one of those things that sometimes you got to create your own excitement and not really care what other people think, or if you're making stuff up. Or
creating your own momentum, because that's what we're essentially doing for our team is those coaches that are advanced we're giving them another shout out. So again, that's momentum for them that we're helping them achieve. So
yep. So if you hear us talk about cubic zirconia or see a shout out, you should know, like some people called it double emerald, but to me, I didn't like that. So
cubic zirconia,
our team really liked cubic zirconia, so we went with it. Another thing that we do is sometimes on our team calls, we just did one on Sunday, is we did a hot seat call. We'll pick on someone that's just rank advanced to diamond, and we'll say, hey guys, Meg's gonna be in the hot seat tonight for diamond, and we want you to drop some questions below so that Meg can answer them and have some time to think about them before she's in the hot seat. So people will post their questions under that in our team page, and then we'll read through the questions. Meg will answer them on the team call after our announcements and all that. And then we'll ask a couple questions of our own. But it's another form of recognition that our coaches feel the same way as being on the cover photo of the team page. It makes them feel recognized, and we see that they're working hard, and they get a shot of being seen as a leader because they are now.
Yes. And we're also running Emerald in 24-hour calls. So we just did one last night. We usually run them every other Monday night with a leader on our team. And we just go over, the importance of why you want to go Emerald, like just the different topics of it and how really you can go Emerald in 24 hours. Because to get to Emerald, it's usually already somebody you know. They're two people. It's usually a spouse, a friend, a spouse, a parent, a spouse, whoever that just wants to be on your journey with you. And so we have them message us right after that call who their two people are going to be. So we do that Monday. So for sure by Thursday, they wake up as an Emerald. So we do that to create some momentum and excitement as well.
Yeah, and another reason we've done it in the 24 hours is because Emerald doesn't need to be a thing that we take a 3-week class on, or a 3-week training, or blast a slingshot into Emerald in 4 months. Like Emerald really, like people can get to Emerald. They have the two people, right? They probably live with the two people that could get them to Emerald. It's time, just do it. What I tell them on the call is, if I was going to open up a coffee shop, people always tell me, well, I'll wait till this point. I'll wait till I make my first whatever, and then I'll get my husband to sign up. And what I always say is, if I were to open up a coffee shop, would I sell coffee out of the back of my truck and wait till I earn $100,000 before I can build my building? Or would I build my building first and then earn my $100,000? Don't answer that. You know what the answer is. Don't treat this like it's something different. This is no different than any other business. You've got to create your momentum. You've got to create your excitement before you can create the sale. Sometimes you got to create those things to get your momentum going.
Yeah. So to recap, 1, creating a FOMO and excitement in everything you do. 2, social media. Doing that on social media in your stories. 3, 2, where am I at? Application, but I'm not going to count. This is not good. You do it in your application process. Doing your application process, doing a meet and greet, and then with your mentorship. So,
want to leave you guys with 2 things. I want you guys to think about, and I want you to write this down. Think of one thing that isn't working for you that you feel like you're just beating a dead horse this year that isn't working. And I want you don't have to scrap it, but how can you build off of that? If your sneak peeks aren't working, how can you be more public about it? Maybe you've got this, you need to build relationships stronger. Maybe that's doing a video message on Instagram stories to people. Maybe you're afraid of Instagram stories. Maybe that means starting out small with a personal message to someone on a video, so that way you can get confident to do Instagram stories. I want you to think about that and write down what you feel like is not working for you and how you can change that. I want you to brainstorm. And then along with that, I want you to think about not only publicly, but in your team page, how you can create excitement and FOMO in your team page. Maybe that's creating a bogus new rank like cubic zirconia. Maybe that's changing your cover photo from some Pinterest picture that's been up to somebody that's on your team. Whatever it is, like maybe think about different ways that you can create excitement, and think of different ways of how you can recognize people on your team. And I also want to leave you with this, guys. One thing that we've learned through struggling with this business, and Meg and Kirk can attest to this because we leaned on them really heavily when we went through a very dark period of our business and our life, is that sometimes it's not about what Mindy Winder's doing. Sometimes it's not about what Emily Faber's doing. Sometimes it's not about that. Sometimes you need to do what you can do good. Sometimes you need to do what you don't. If you're not good at blogging, don't try to be a blogger like Melanie Mitro. Maybe you're holding back on video because you feel like, well, if I want to be Melanie Mitro, I got to get good at blogging. Let me tell you something. Blogging was good 5 years ago. Blogging is not advancing anymore. Think about video. If you're good on video, go forward with video. That's where we're headed. That's where we're at. And I don't want you to try to force something that isn't working for you, because for us, that's what we had to, that was a big game changer for us, is we had to stop trying to do what everybody else was doing. And we had to try to figure out what we're good at and what we can do really good. And that looks nothing like anybody else. And that's all I have.
That's all we got. Let's look through the chat and see what questions.
If you guys have, Meg, do we have time for questions?
Yeah, I was trying to keep track of them because everyone is trying so much. But boom, you just did a mic drop at the end, and that was amazing. There's a freaking fly in my room. It's driving me crazy. Okay, so I saw one question was, do you still have one main team page for general announcements? Which it sounds like you said, yep, you got a team page.
What I do, so for example, we had an Emerald and 24-hour call, so I post it in the big team page, but then I also post it in our new coach pod to remind them in both places. And we actually really encourage new Emeralds to jump on there because we're like, there's no reason you can't go CZ. You did it last week. Let's do it again. So just to kind of reiterate the importance of Emerald and what it's for. So we'll kind of double post sometimes, but yes.
Okay, and then I had a question. So I know that you guys have these pods, and I know that they work genius for you. Where I'm finding a struggle is, do you do trainings in there, or is it strictly just for questions and stuff? Because it's yes, people don't need a lot of hand-holding to hit Emerald, but when we get to Diamond and Star Diamond, that's when, you need a little more type training stuff. So do you guys do stuff on top of the message thread, or do you do training in the message thread, or what do you do with that?
So actually this month we're kind of trying to figure out a good groove with that because we thought about it. So this month I alternated the first Monday of the month, I did a new coach pod call. The second I did Emerald coach pod call, CZ. And what I did is I kind of did a mini power hour with them on Instagram. So I kind of showed them how you could send invites, and we all did it together. And I kind of shared with them what I was saying, and we just did it together. And we're seeing success with that. So less training almost and more action oriented, sharing with them what I'm doing so that they can duplicate that.
Yeah, that's like she said, that's what we're trying to figure out, because we understand that we can't just create these pods, good, they work, and then we can walk away and they're always going to work. We're always going to have to be evolving and changing. And I feel like a point to where, okay, it's time to change more. And yeah, we're trying to brainstorm of different action oriented trainings, like doing a power hour together, because in our opinion, Beachbody provides some phenomenal trainings in the Champions page, the National Wake Up Call. We are a part of the Central region. They've got trainings in there. Janelle Summers, we try not to give them another video to watch. We try to do more action oriented things.
Okay, so you said mostly just action, and once a week you do, once a month you do an Emerald or a C4 or that thing, right?
Yes, and even we do a weekly team call, but again, it's typically not a training. It's more of here's my focus. This week my focus is recruiting. here is my goal and here are the action items I'm going to do this week that are going to get me to my goal. And so I kind of walk them through that process so that they can do that too. Yeah. And then at the end, we may do like a little training, but usually it's like questions that we've gotten a lot of, or, I mean, we I don't know, we're always like, what are we sick of hearing this week? Because I'm like, if I'm sick of hearing it, that's probably an indicator that I need to talk about it again, because other people have that question or other people are meeting that like roadblock that I need to address again, whether it's the cost objection or not inviting. And I'm like, you have to do all the things. Like you can't just pick and choose off your tracker what you want. You got to do them all. So it's like reiterating sometimes those things. So it's never a training per se, but I'll touch on a topic.
And during that team call, when she's doing her action plan for the week, she's having them get out a piece of paper and drawing out and writing what their actions are going to be for the week, so that basically she's teaching them how to plan out their week for the business and that they're ready on Sunday.
I keep muting because I'm typing at the same time. I'm like, I don't want to like type all of my notes with people. But that's so genius, you guys. And it's so true. There's so many trainings. You know, we all hear about like, oh my God, there's so many videos, or I'm so behind in trainings. Like, it's hard to keep up with everything because there's so much good content. So genius. Okay, last question. So Anna said, as we are starting out Emerald, do you suggest everything be more exclusive, one-on-one meet and greets, like you said, to create a stronger community and grow faster?
I definitely think so. I mean, something that I was actually just said on our Emerald call last night is Bonnie Engel was a guest speaker on Janelle's call like a couple weeks ago, and she talked about how, you know, she's a superstar diamond and she's talking to this girl about coaching, and the girl came back and said, I like, you sound like you're amazing, but I am actually going to join this other person. She's Emerald and she's super successful. So get out of your head that you're a whatever rank, because nobody on the outside knows what Emerald is, what CZ is, what Diamond is, what Star Diamond is. Like, they don't know. Be excited about what you have to offer and believe in that. Get on either a Zoom call, pick up the phone, whatever it is, because people feel that excitement and they want to join somebody who's confident and excited about what they have to offer. So
that's so true.
Yeah.
That's so true. The people have no idea what the ranks mean, you guys. They have no idea, but they're learning about the business through what you're talking about. So I love it, you guys. Thank you so much for dropping, seriously, so many knowledge bombs. I was like frantically typing, like trying to organize my notes. I'm like, oh God, I can't miss anything, you know, and then you'd say something. I'm like, wait, what did I just miss? You know, so amazing. I'm going to have to listen to the replay to make sure I got everything. And I got to go do my brain dump. You guys know I will return the favor if you ever want me on your team call. But thank you so much, you guys. Anything else that you want to share closing out?
Well, I'm looking up, Brittany had a question about if it's just for it's just for our PS coaches in the pods. We actually open it up to our entire diamond line, except for like our Star Diamonds. They've created their own little pods, but for like new coaches coming on, that's part of our mentorship. We say, when you bring on your first couple coaches, you can plug them into our pods, plug them into our system, just as long as you're in there too. That way you're supporting them. So we do open it up to our downline.
I love that. Love that. Love that. Genius. Well, guys, thank you so very much. I'm pretty sure you guys probably gained another 28 followers. Well, minus me because I already follow you on Instagram stories after this. You guys, they're so much fun to follow on Instagram. Thank you. I love you guys. I adore you. And we'll talk to you all later. Bye.
All right. Thanks, Meg.